difficult though it may be to believe, the Brodsky Quartet's actually 40 years old this year, 2012. It was started in 1972 in Middlesbrough in the northeast of the country. And two of the original members, Jacqui Thomas and Ian Belton, are still with us, still playing in the group. Absolutely incredible. Indeed, I think it's unique given that Jacqui was 10 or 11 and Ian was a year older than her. But already, even at that tender age, they were tackling very difficult repertoire, Schubert G major, Bartók 5, these sort of pieces. Shostakovich 11, these were pieces that the quartet were already playing actually in concerts. Prokofiev 2, Dvorak American. And they were so amazingly single-minded. And the original four then took themselves off to the Royal Northern College of Music in Manchester, where they studied. And I joined in 1982, so a bit of a Johnny-come-lately. But yeah, and Daniel Rowland joined the group 6 years ago now. We're very excited at this new residency here at King's Place. For me, the greatest chamber music hall in London. It's just utterly beautiful. We love coming here. The acoustic is fantastic. The position, everything about it. It's quiet. There are no rumblings. And after the concert, there's a place to eat right upstairs. Now, all these things add up to a perfect concert-giving experience from our point of view. This, in a way, yes, we've just done all the Shostakovich quartets here, but in a way, this is now the beginning of our residency. And so we wanted to try and come up with 3 concerts that would give a kind of overview of where we're at and the sort of thing we do. So the first concert rather, on the 6th of December, we've paired Schubert's great Death and the Maiden quartet, arguably the greatest quartet ever written by anyone, even Beethoven. Many people would put Death and the Maiden top of their list. So that's a great classic from the early 1800s. And we've juxtaposed that with George Crumb's iconic string quartet from 1970 entitled Black Angels. More than just putting these two classics together, the central theme, if you like, of Black Angels is in fact the theme of that Schubert uses in Death and the Maiden. So there's more to it than that. And this combination works so beautifully, in our opinion, that back in 1993 we actually made a record for Teldec, which was these two pieces. The Schubert, well, you know, what can I say about the Schubert that hasn't been said a million times? It's just, as I've said, one of the classics, one of the great quartets. The Crumb, however, the Crumb is a kind of multifaceted experience. I mean, first of all, it's written for electric quartet. That's quite unusual. It's George Crumb's comment, if you like, on the Vietnam War. It was written in 1970, completed on Friday the 13th of July. So I think George wanted to bring out that element also. It's called Black Angels, and there is more than an element of the occult about it. It uses the numbers 13 and 7 in all kinds of different ways. It has strange titles to the music. There's to the movements. You have God music, devil music, sounds of bones and flutes. These are the sort of incredible images that he manages to create. And in fact, there's a subtitle which is 13 Images from the Dark Land. And but in this piece, you know, I can think of at least 4 techniques that certainly I have never seen anywhere else in music. I mean, that in itself is quite incredible, really, to think that he's actually come up with sounds that are completely unique to this piece. It's an extremely theatrical experience, both for us and for the audience. Not only do we just play our instruments, but we have to play gongs, and in the God music, the upper 3 strings, while Jacqui's playing this beautiful, haunting solo, the other 3 are playing tuned glasses, so you get this absolutely beautiful effect. We play with plectrums and glass rods, and we shout in Japanese and German and Swahili, and it's just an extraordinary experience. So that evening's a real treat. The next evening, on the 7th of December, we're going to be joined by the wonderful Jacqui Dankworth, someone who we've been working with now for a very long time, maybe 15 years. We've been giving concerts with Jacqui. She's an extraordinary musician. She's got the most magnificent voice and the ability to switch genres, and she also is a songwriter in her own right, if you forgive the pun, and therefore, she's interested in all kinds of music. So over the years, we've explored folk, jazz, blues, rock, classical, all kinds of genres. And so we're just delighted that she's going to come along. And over the last 25 years, maybe even 30, we've built up quite a repertoire for string quartet and voice, because actually it seemed to us that it was a most glorious combination, and yet one that for some strange reason was somewhat overlooked in the past. And so, yeah, over the last 20-25 years, we've commissioned a lot of pieces for that combination, and we do a tremendous amount of arranging. So we're very excited about that evening and to be working with Jacqui again. The 3rd concert of our little mini residency here, on the 8th of December, that is kind of in a way our birthday evening. That's our birthday celebration. We're going to have cake and bubbly for the audience, and maybe even for ourselves. And we want to try and create a bit of a party atmosphere. So we thought the only way of doing that is to bring along our wheel, because for our 40th anniversary, I came up with this strange idea by way of celebration, which is called a Wheel of Fortunes. And on that wheel, there are 40 string quartets. They're divided into 10 sections, like a cake, and each of these sections are divided into 4. So that gives 4 times 10, if you like. So, for example, we invite people up to the stage. They spin the wheel, and for the first time, and the first piece comes from the inner circle, as it were, and these are made up of 10 short classics. For example, Mozart Adagio and Fugue, Schubert Quartet Sats, Purcell Chaconne, Stravinsky 3 pieces, these sort of things. Things that are bread and butter for any quartet, and solid repertoire pieces. Then the next spin of the wheel, by whoever is brave enough to come up and spin it, we then take from the second circle. And those are all pieces that traditionally would finish a first half. So you'd have Opus 95 of Beethoven, Shostakovich 8, for example, Korngold 2, Borodin 2, these sort of pieces. Then we take a break, we have an interval, after which the third spin will reveal a piece from the third circle out from the middle, and that circle has got 10 quartets all written for the Brodsky Quartet in the last 15 or 20 years. Pieces that we're very keen on and would like to share with the public because we think they're great pieces. And indeed, on there, there's even one piece that was written this year in February, specifically for the wheel. That's the most beautiful piece, by the way. If you're lucky enough for that to come up, it's a piece by the wonderful Norwegian violinist Henning Kragerud, and Henning's a very good friend. And I asked him. I also know that he's an amazing composer, so I asked him if he would write a piece for the wheel, and he did. And it's called Preghiera, which is prayer in Italian. So, okay, and then the fourth and final spin will produce a piece from the outer circle, and this is, of course, one of the big guys, the sort of quartets that finish concerts. Tchaikovsky 1, Elgar, Mendelssohn Opus 80, Janacek 2. These sort of pieces. So there are 10 of each, 4 spins of the wheel, 4 for the quartet, of course, and 40 pieces in all, because we are 40 years old. And the wheel is designed in such a way that the concert is never too long, never too short, and you get a beautiful mix of pieces. And by the way, all the programs that we've done by way of the wheel so far this year are all on our website, if you'd like to have a look at those.